have talked about how to start our slide decks. We have learned about learning targets and how we could create them for workshop. One thing I wanted to add to the learning target discussion, and that'll come back up later, is the criteria for success. So it's really important when you share that second piece of your learning target to have a criteria for success, so students know what they're aiming towards. And that can be in the form of a model, it can be in a form of questioning, or even a list of what excellence looks like when they are doing that performance of understanding, which is the second part of that learning target. So, and again, we will be talking about that more in the mini lesson and work time portion of this training. So for this section, I just wanted to talk about the agenda and the connect. So I use the same agenda slide for every session, and it simply reminds students that we are going to connect back to prior learning. We are going to have a mini lesson that I'm going to try to keep right at 10 minutes. We are going to have work time, and then we are going to have share time. So that we go over that every time. It's the same. It takes, 15 seconds just to remind them, and it also creates in their mind kind of, here's where we're going to go. And it puts us all on the same path. And so that's really important to do, especially right after the learning target, because now students know how we are going to get to where we're going. So the connect piece, I really love, and it's in the Lucy Calkins as part of the mini lesson. I've kind of taken it out here and I've made it its own thing, where we really look at the past learning to help us with what we're doing in the future. And so it really is just connecting to what the work that we've done in the past, and really celebrating that work, honoring that work. I try to put some kind of social emotional piece, whether it's like a, wow, look what you've done so far, or in this one, it's this You Matter poster where, we really want to make sure students understand that what they have to say is important, and that, they are writing about compelling moments in their own lives, and that they're doing that with insight and craft. And so that is a really important piece to really help celebrate them and honor them. And that also works to activate that motivation, that feeling of success, then activates that intrinsic motivation, and they have more energy to move on into the next thing. So it really helps on a couple of different levels. In this particular lesson, the connect part is pretty long, and we look back at all of our drafts that we've created, and we choose that seed idea. Again, I like to include emojis. I like to include pictorial representations of what we're doing. It really helps to see the emoji, and you can see kids smile when these come up, because it helps them to almost know how they're supposed to feel about whatever is happening. And again, it helps with that regulation. So a simple thing like an emoji really makes a difference. And then I also, again, bullet. Another thing I like to do when I'm presenting to students is create a transition so that each of these pop up at a different time, right? So to do that, I would just all I have to do is I click in the box, and I highlight the information. And then I go up to slide, and I go down to transition. And then here you can see that I have, and here I'll erase this so it's not there. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of that. All right. So then you can see how we do it. So we go like this. We click add animation by paragraph, and then you can see how it worked when you hit play. So when you hit play, you can see that these pop up one at a time. And again, I'll say this has helped me to stay on track, but it also helps those students by only revealing enough, what information they need at that moment. So, and you just click through, you see that it works, and then you move on. So that is how you create those transitions. And I really think it is helpful for students who don't need, because sometimes you don't know where to look when all the words are there. So we connect it, we choose our seed idea, and then in this particular part, students are just going to tell the story of the seed idea to each other. So really working on rehearsing. They do some storytelling. Again, you can see that these are very simple slides with images for students to connect with. I also have a timer for them and specific directions so they know exactly what's supposed to be happening. And I would preempt the time by telling them what I'm expecting to see and what I'm expecting to hear. So again, they have that criteria for success. They know what the expectation is. That helps them to self-regulate, and I can coach them in individual groups as needed. But being proactive with that information is really, really important. So that's our agenda and connect.